Love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah, first of all, thank you both for being here.
Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. Oprah had a town hall and Kamala Harris was at the town hall, and that was a whole situation. So we have some things to speak about here. You know, when they bring out Oprah, they are grasping at straws now. At this point, Oprah is the emergency person. The characters pointed this out to me, that she did the same thing is true with Hillary Clinton. Oprah was not supporting Hillary Clinton openly.
Yeah.
Until it got down to the wire because she wasn't going to win.
Donald Trump won.
Yep.
I mean, she didn't.
It didn't help.
She didn't really endorse her until the very last moment.
They always pull out Oprah when they want to try to kind of get that last minute push. All right, you guys, let's get into this here. Oprah begins this by calling out all the different groups for Kamala, right? They're just making up groups now.
No, I mean, this is going to be cringe. I mean, I'm just going to... The Democrats are very good at being very, very cringy. They're going to have a slew of celebrities on here because she has the celebrity class on her side. And it's going to be cringy. I mean, so know that going in. There's nothing here that's going to look normal or everything's going to look calculating.
So we have the cat ladies for Kamala here. Rural Americans for Harris. Caregivers for Kamala. Train lovers for Harris Waltz. Chefs for Kamala. Love that group. Republicans for Harris. Love that group even more. We've got Swifties. Where are you? Swifties for Kamala. Where are you? Chris Rock is in the house. Ben Stiller. Jennifer Lopez. Tracy Ellis Ross.
I want to bring my daughters to the White House to meet this black woman president.
That's a reason.
Will we ever learn? Will we ever? You heard it? See, this one. You know, we have white subscribers that say to us often, like, why do black people always vote like this one way? This is what I'm saying. We love voting for skin color. We just do. This is what we do. I don't get it, but we do.
But I mean, again, like I said before about celebrities, look at the shallowness of Chris Rock. I mean, I just want my daughter to see a black woman. No policies. He doesn't care because to him, he's already rich. Nothing is going to change for him. I don't care about the migrants because they don't live in my neighborhood. I don't care about the gas prices because mostly I don't drive. Someone else drives me, or I don't, I can pay for gas. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Right. I don't care about groceries because I probably don't even go to the grocery store. Someone else does it. And see, none of this bothers them or none of this actually bothers them or, it's going to affect them, but it affects masses of people, and for them to sort of shallowly, gaslight people into voting for people against their own,
That's what they do.
That's what they do. That's what. This is shame on Chris Rock and all these other celebrities for doing that.
That's a reason.
That's the reason. I think she would make a great president, and I'm ready to turn the page, man.
Yeah.
All the hate, the negativity, it's got to stop.
Yeah. Explain the power of what happened 3 hours after Kamala, we knew that she was going to step into this candidacy.
First of all, Oprah, this is amazing to just be united. And that night, black women everywhere, we knew one thing. We wanted to gather in our joy, and we knew that we needed to get to work. What we knew was that it was a moment in our country to show what black women have always done.
Even if you are a white woman who is voting for Kamala Harris, that's not enough. You have to get off the sidelines and do the work like black women and black men have been doing for decades, and follow the lead of people like Jotega Edie, whose lead we followed on our call. We have to be waking up every day and phone banking and knocking doors and sending texts, but most important, we have to be persuading the white women in our lives. We may be part of the 47%, but we know the 53%. They're our mothers and our sisters and our friends, and we have to tell them to vote not just in their own self-interests, but in all women's best interests.
But we really...
So, I mean, again, See how this is all
God.
subset? Where are the policies?
Where are the
These are
policies?
not policies. These are people with egos. You know, white women that do this sort of speech, it's like they think black people don't lie. How do you know that black people are even leading you in the right place?
Right.
You're just assuming because a group of people was once oppressed.
Yeah.
Back in the past, that they just tell truth. They just tell the truth now.
It's amazing.
And the idea that you would just let go of who you are and your wants and needs, just to look like the nice white lady.
And that's what it is, though.
And that black woman just sitting there arrogantly shaking her head as though she's some righteous woman. Yeah. It's like, you don't know her. You don't really know. You don't know all black people. Most black people are lost.
And she's
I'm sorry, but most black people are. I mean, look at our look at our demographics. Look at our incarceration rate. Look at our homelessness, our welfare, our abortion rates. We don't fend well in most things. Right. So why are people following us?
You know, when I see women people who do this and try to do this ally thing, right? It just looks so desperate, and it's almost like, and it's funny that a lot of black women will be like, oh, yep, she's on board. She's on board, yes. Good job, white lady, right? And I don't see that. What I see is like, it's an insult to me. We're gonna give you a little boost here. Our white troops of women are gonna give you a little boost here, so here you go. I watched this entire town hall. There's only a couple of clips here, but I watched this entire town hall. I can tell you right now, this entire town hall was just feelings. Like, it was feelings based. I'm literally from beginning to the end. You guys will see, but it's just ridiculous.
We can't run our country on feeling.
I'd love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah, first of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that. And there are a number of ways. One is bringing down the cost of everyday necessities, including groceries. So that's why I'm taking on, for example, price gouging. Which is when, most companies and corporations are good, but for those bad ones, they take advantage of people, especially during a pandemic or extreme weather, and they end up jacking up prices, and there needs to be accountability and consequence for that. So I'm going to be taking on price gouging. But it's also about dealing with what we need to do around home ownership, right? So as someone mentioned during this film, look, I grew up a child of a mother who worked very hard. She raised me and my sister, and she saved up, and by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy a home. And we grew up actually for a long time in an apartment on top of a child care center that was owned by the woman we called our second mother, because she helped my mother raise us. And she was a small business owner, Miss Shelton. So I'll bring all this together to tell you the way I think about it is, one, when people work hard and have a dream of buying a home, we should give you the opportunity to be able to do that, which is why part of my plan is for first-time homeowners, buyers, to have a $25,000 down payment assistance to buy your first home. Because people just need...
So, have you ever watched the movie Ocean's 11 when George Clooney tells Matt Damon, don't use 4 words, don't use 11 words when 4 will do. Mm-hmm. Because what you're doing when you do that, he's trying to show him how to lie. Yeah. What you're doing is you're trying to over-convince, and when you do that, you make yourself look like a liar and you shine a light on you. She's talking too much. She asked a direct question, and she got a speech about her childhood and about stuff that her administration caused.
Yeah, her idea with these questions, see, the reason why she kind of like dances around these questions is that she's trying to do this thing where it's like a strategy where someone will ask you a question and then you dance around it so your audience forgets the original question. And, because she doesn't have the answer. So the girl's asking about, the woman, this couple was asking about their, how to have a better cost of living. That's all she was asking. That's all she was asking. And Kamala went through, when I was in blah, 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 I was raised in a blank, blank, blank. She never just gets to it. She says that same sad, silly story over and over again. And I feel like when I listen to her talk, all I can think is, what is
the policy?
What are you talking about? And then she still is pushing this $25,000 first time home ownership thing that she's trying to get people to have, and then the $50,000 for the startup business people for small businesses. And I'm like, right, the country is trying to figure out, before we do that, we're trying to figure out how are we going to get the economy back on track so we can now we can talk about the $25,000 and then we can talk the $50,000. But right now, just on a regular day, before you're trying to own a home, before you're trying to get, your small business, how are you going to boost the economy? And she's trying to get you engulfed in her, she's trying to make you feel like she's somehow some middle class, everyday Jane. She's part of your world. Mm-hmm. She's you. It's like, no, Kamala, let's go. Ask one question, and you couldn't get that. She's still doing it.
Because her administration is the cause of it.
Right.
So you can even see in her face after the question was asked, she always kind of sinks into herself a little bit, because how can you explain that away from you? If for the last 3.5 years, you have been the one creating policies and spending money. Mm-hmm. So how can you explain that? So she's not explaining that. She's just spending more money.
It's true.
It's just like, don't give people the answer. Just give people the runaround. And I'm telling you, this girl power bullcrap is what's going to kill our country.
Can you feel it? Can you feel the joy rising in here?
I can, and I have to tell you, there's so much that I love about our campaign, because it really is about the people. And I look around at these screens, Oprah, I look at who's in the room, and this is America.
This is
America.
So when you go to a Trump rally, that's not America?
What does that mean?
What about those people? What about those Americans? That's who you need the votes from.
Right.
You're looking around at people that are already going to vote for you. Who you need are people who aren't sure about you.
Yeah.
And so what you're saying, when you guys keep going on television and saying that the problem is the MAGA voters and calling them degenerates and all this, that's like 73 million people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you're just ignoring a bunch of people. This is America. No, that's not only America.
Well, her criticism, though, but see, Kamala's criticism is from the undecided voters, right? The independents, because what they're asking is, what are your direct, what are your policies? That's all they're asking her for, right? And that was the big problem with the debate, is that because they're saying that the independents are saying, we already know what Trump is going to do, or at least what he's about, because he's been president, and not to mention he's done a million talk shows and podcasts. So I mean, like the policies that he has are pretty common knowledge at this point, right? But what's not common knowledge is her policies. Her policies are not common knowledge. So when she doesn't just talk about kind of like the meat and potatoes of what the hell she's going to do, and she goes into this, look at the joy, look at all this joy around the room, and this is America. It's a feelings thing, and it's like it's not real. It's ridiculous.
Like, what are you talking about? I don't have to like you to vote for you.
Right.
I was saying with a group of friends earlier, I think in this moment where we've dealt with so much that I think is quite exhausting around powerful forces that would try and divide us and try to have us as Americans pointing fingers at each other.
Yes.
That this movement that is about reminding each other that we have so much more in common than what separates us is so critically important. And this is about the strength of who we are as Americans. And this movement that we're in about, as I like to say, seeing in the face of a stranger a neighbor.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
An extension of love thy neighbor, that you literally in the face of a stranger see a neighbor.
Yes. Can I just start with this?
Yes, please.
I have to say this because in all of my private conversations, Gail, and I've said this 100 times.
Yeah.
And everybody is saying it. You all have said it. I know you have. It seems to us that something happened to you the moment President Biden, stepped aside and withdrew his candidacy, that a veil or something dropped, and you just stepped into your power?
You know, we each have those moments in our lives where it's time to step up.
Time to step up.
So, okay, 3.5 years, almost 4 years, and now you're saying it's time to step up. Now it's time, right? Not the almost 4 years that you've been in office already. So now it's time to step up? Wow. So now we know.
Right.
You guys were just basically just a couple of losers, and you're just basically just a couple of losers in the White House right now. Because you're saying right here, I didn't step up for 4 years, and now I am.
And by the way, Oprah, no one saw the veil lift and she stepped up. What happened was you realized this is all you had.
Yeah.
And that's what you're acting like right now. This is all you got is this woman, and you guys, you Democrats have to do whatever you have to do to make this woman look normal. By the way, make sure you realize that all of these people, including Oprah, are all actors.
Yeah.
I'm going to step up. I felt a sense of responsibility. To be honest with you.
You is, when you become president, what would be your specific steps? Yeah, of course. What would be your specific steps to strengthening the border?
So it's a wonderful and important question. You know, my background was as a prosecutor, and I was also the elected attorney general for 2 terms of a border state. So this is not a theoretical issue for me. This is something I've actually worked on. Okay. I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I take very seriously the importance of having a secure border and ensuring the safety of the American people. Sadly, where we are now can be traced most recently back to the fact that when the United States Congress, members of the Congress, including some of the most conservative Republicans, came up with a border security bill. And here's what that border security bill would have done. It would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border. Let me tell you, those border agents are working around the clock. It would have just been about giving them some support and relief, which is probably why the border agents actually endorsed the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl. And I'm looking at people from all over the country here, so I don't need to tell the folks who are watching this what fentanyl has done to families, to kids in our country, and the need to take seriously stemming the flow coming into our country.
He asked her, what are you going to do to secure the border?
The people that get to ask questions, like, this isn't Charlie Kirk.
No, right.
Because Charlie Kirk will push back and go, no, what are you going to do? I don't need to hear about you as a prosecutor.
Specifically are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to ask you what that you're going to do, because you allowed people to come through our border when you were supposed to be the border czar. Right. And this whole thing that you're talking about when Donald Trump blocked a bill was because, he would say that, it was because there were other things in the bill that would have cost us a lot of money and a lot of lives. Yeah. But this guy isn't going to do that.
No,
he's just going to sit back there and nod like a beta male. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the point is, it's just like, this is the kind of men they like, by the way, too. Men who just nod and do what they're told. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they're never going to have men on there like a Ben Shapiro or a Matt Walsh or a Mark Dice or Charlie Kirk. They're never going to do that because those men need results.
Well, those men are also informed, and he's uninformed, so he's not informed.
This is a room of uninformed people.
She's giving this big long speech about this, like Kira said about the bill. Again, I'm going to say this, guys, I said this in the last video. Please understand what she's saying with this border bill that she's talking about. That bill was a crap bill. Most of that money, 80% of it, was going to go to Ukraine. Donald Trump is America First person. And when I see a bill that's put in place where it's going to be giving money, billions, to another country, when we have 10 million people rushing through the border. Actually, I think it's more. I believe it's more. And you think that that's a good bill? He doesn't know this. This guy doesn't know this.
They're picking, like, this isn't Brandon Tatum standing here.
No.
I mean, if Republicans love you so much, why don't you have some Republicans in the House? Some real Republicans. Not the rhinos. Not the Liz Cheney Republicans. No. I mean, a real Republicans. How come there's just, it looks to me like a bunch of Democrats. Yeah. So if Republicans love you so much, then how come Republicans aren't standing up and giving you a run for your money with questions and answers?
He will accept any answer she's going to give. It doesn't matter what it is.
And addressing that extraordinary and tragic issue in terms of its effect. The bill would have allowed us to have more resources to prosecute transnational criminal organizations. And it would have been part of the solution. And Donald Trump.
And by the way, why didn't she just start with this answer?
Right.
Why did she tell you, like, when I was a prosecutor, I did this? Why did she tell that whole story before she gets to this point? She could have just started with this. He asked you a question, and if you're going to lie, just at least go ahead and put the lie. It's like you want to lie a little bit first before you tell another lie.
If they get you, you ask the question, and then they evade the question or dance around the question, so you forget the original question. And then before you know it, you're engulfed in her story.
Right.
For this case, you're engulfed in the story of the person you forgot what you even asked.
And so she's talking about the fact that she prosecuted, traffickers.
Yeah.
That's she tells you that story first before she tells you the lie about the bill.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And the truth is, the reason why I feel she's doing that is because she wants you to know that I care about people and I prosecute human trafficking. I prosecuted this, so you know that now. Right. Now I'm going to tell you about this bill that I see. I do care. But Donald Trump didn't want to sign the bill. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, because she knows what people are thinking, but you let people run through the border.
Executive orders.
So she has to tell you a story of where she prosecuted people first.
Yeah.
So before she tells
I'm tough.
See, I'm tough. I prosecuted people first, so why would I just let people run through the border?
Right.
That was because Donald Trump was trying to block it.
Called up those folks and said, don't put that bill on the floor for a vote. He blocked the bill, and you know why? Because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And he has put his personal political security before border security.
So you really have no answer.
So she never answered.
She never answered. So that was just it. You just,
we don't know.
Just threw Donald Trump under the bus when Donald Trump wasn't president. I don't get that.
Particularly those people who are still undecided or maybe indifferent or on the fence still.
We love our country. I love our country. I know we all do. That's why everybody's here right now. We love our country. We take pride in the privilege of being American. And this is a moment where we can and must come together as Americans, understanding we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let's come together with the character that we are so proud of about who we are, which is we are an optimistic people. We are an optimistic people. Americans, by character, are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible. We believe in what can be. And we believe in fighting for that. That's how we came into being. Because the people before us understood that one of the greatest expressions for the love of our country, one of the greatest expressions of patriotism, is to fight for the ideals of who we are, which includes freedom to make decisions about your own body, freedom to be safe from gun violence, freedom to have access to the ballot box, freedom to be who you are and just be, to love who you love openly and with pride, freedom to just be. And that's who we are. We believe in all that. And so this is a moment where we stand knowing what we are fighting for. We're not fighting against. It's what we're fighting for.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Vice
Yeah,
Again,
so that
platitude speeches that don't make sense. What was she talking about?
Oprah.
You know what I mean?
Oprah was like, okay.
What are you talking about? I mean, she's so pathetic. She's so fake.
Oh, she's so fake. It's horrible.
She's just so incredibly fake and
to watch.
obnoxious and nauseating. Like, I can't stand someone just to sit there and... You ever been around someone they're lying to you and you know they're lying to you?
It's just...
And they're just lying to you. It just makes you sick.
She's one of those people where there's no way I could have a conversation with her and not have my face would tell the story of how I felt.
I care about the people. Let's just come together. I didn't care about the fact that I had tens of millions of people running through our border, fentanyl overdose. I didn't care about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we all need to just come together. Unless you're a white straight Christian male. We hate you.
Right.
You're a patriarch and you suck.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like...
It's amazing.
She's just so fake and just condescending, and You know what I mean? And I hate stuff like this because, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times when I see stuff like this, it does two things for me. It makes me think how gross and you know, I can't believe someone can stand there and just lie like that. But then secondly, I think for most of the people in our country are going to, most of the people in this country, because we're so self-serving these days, we all want what we want, and we don't really care about anything but ourselves. And that came with the internet and everybody getting likes and hearts and wanting all this attention for ourselves all the time. That when they say stuff like love who you want to love and every woman can kill her baby in the womb, and it just sounds like freedom, but really it's just bondage, packaged in a different packaging. You know what I mean? She does not care about gun rights at all. They don't care about the Constitution. You know, they are it's like they're a party of death.
There was a part on there where I don't think I pull up that clip, but it's just part of there where she was talking about she was a gun owner, because Oprah was saying to her, I didn't know you were a gun owner. And I feel like that's just a big lie too. Yeah. It's just a big lie too. She's at a point right now where she needs to get some
They need to get the Republican voters.
Yeah,
that's what they need.
And she knows that Republicans love the Second Amendment. You know, they're on top of the Second Amendment. That's their right. And she's trying to appeal, I guess you could say, to those people. And so that's all phony too.
I mean, and Daniel's right. If Oprah is in this now, like she was with Hillary Clinton, she's losing terribly. Yeah. Don't look at those polls. Yeah, those polls that are on MSNBC and CNN, even Fox News. Yeah. Don't really look at those. Because that you could take them with a grain of salt. Yeah, but the truth is that the polls were in Hillary Clinton's favor when she ran against Trump, and he beat the pants off her. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the something else is going on here where they
brought in Oprah.
But they had to bring out some sort of, and all the celebrities.
Yeah. Where you have, and what's interesting about these, with Kamala and with people on the left and Tim Walz, they keep saying that, Trump is dividing, he's whatever, right? I'm like, no, but that can't be, because his numbers for different demographics when it comes to, Asians and Hispanics and blacks and those numbers are increasing in his favor. So that would not be him dividing, it's actually him bringing people together. Right. All right, you guys, let us know what you think. Leave some comments below.